Hi guys, so today we're going to be making a minion cake in less than an hour. So firstly what we're looking to do is to cut the tops off all the cakes and then cover them with buttercream. So once this has been done, we're just going to stack them together then and use a spirit level to make sure that they're level. Once we know the level, you can add jam then to the layers if you want. I've just added it to one layer here. Now we're also going to keep the top off one of the cakes so that we have the dome at the top of the minion's head. And then we're going to apply 2 to 3 coats of buttercream onto the cake. So first of all, we'll start applying buttercream to the top of the cake just to seal in the crumb coat. So this just makes sure that no crumbs break away and it's all nice and sealed for when we ice it. Then we're going to apply buttercream around the sides. So start from the base to the top and then just keep coating them until you've covered all the cake and you've sealed in all of those crumbs. This will just be your first coat, so it's what's known as a crumb coat. Once this has been done, then we're just going to apply more buttercream and just build up to a second layer. So again, applying it from the bottom to the top, and then on top of the cake, we're going to give that another coat as well. So we're just applying a fairly thick coat, and then we're going to give it a final third coat now. So once you've done that, we're just going to use a smoother then and scrape the excess off the side of the cake. So this gets a nice smooth level. So just take the cake smoother or scraper and smooth off the cake, and then cover up any gaps by adding a little bit more buttercream, and then give it another coat and use your scraper just to scrape down the buttercream, and then just again fill any gaps and smooth around the edge. Take your scraper and smooth down, and then that should virtually be done. So all we're going to do then is we're going to take a plastic smoother and just smooth down to make sure that there's no uneven lumps. So the cake's extra fine and smooth then for icing. This will just give you a nice finish when we ice it. So just work around the sides from the bottom to the top and then across the top of the cake. So once that's done, then we're just going to take some yellow fondant. I've already prepared this, but normally we recommend 24 hours before to colour your icing. This is just regular Renshaw's icing, so it's coloured yellow using melon, and then we're going to roll this out on a dusted surface. So dust it with icing sugar, and then just knead it and roll it out using a non-stick rolling pin we're using here. But just make sure that you keep rolling it out and turning the icing so it doesn't stick. Once that's done, we're going to transfer the icing then onto the cake. So once you've transferred the icing onto the cake, then we're just going to take a pair of scissors and cut off all the excess. Once you've cut off the excess, then we're just going to smooth out any folds and then cut away the excess and use cake smoothers just to smooth down. Now use a small palette knife just to cut off the excess. Take a cake smoother and smooth the cake. So smooth all over the top, on the sides. You can take 2 cake smoothers then and smooth it, and you'll get an extra smooth finish. So just run your hands over, just make sure it's all nice and smooth and shiny. So once that's done then guys, we're just going to get rid of the excess fondant, and then we're just looking to make the clothing for the minion. So before we do that, we're just going to glue it onto a board. So take a bit of buttercream, stick it onto the board, give it a final smooth for where we've lifted it up, and then we're going to take the blue to make the overalls or the dungarees for the minion. So we're just going to mark first of all where we want the eye to go and the nose. And we're just going to roll out this fondant then into a long blue strip, around about 35 centimeters long, and you want it to be about 8 centimeters wide, and then with a recess cut away of 4 centimeters each side. Glue then around the base of the cake, and then just apply the strip that we've just cut out. Just smoothing in any joints. Run the smoother around it then, just to make sure that there's no gaps and it's nice and even against your cake. Now we're going to trim away the excess at the front. So we're just going to use a cutting tool just to trim away the front, just because the flap's a little bit too tall, and then glue it back onto the cake. Now we're going to take our stitching tool and run a stitch all the way around the cake. So once this has been done, guys, all we're going to do then is just make the pocket. So we just cut off a small piece, apply it to the cake just to see for size, and then make this in a semicircular pocket shape and glue this onto the cake. Again, run your stitch around it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make the strips or the straps for the dungarees, which are just above the arm. So again, roll this 30 centimeters long and then cut them 4 centimeters wide. Mark where you want them to go, run some glue over those lines, and then just attach the straps. So make sure that they join at the back so they're nice and neat. And then just apply the glue. Again, run the stitching tool all the way around, just so it looks like this is fabric, and it just gives that little bit more detail without spending lots of time. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make the legs, so a sausage shape cut in two, and glue these onto the front of the cake. Now just pinch up the ends of the cake so it looks like the bottom of the trousers, and then just apply some creases using a veining tool. Now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take some black sugar paste. We're just going to soften this, and we're just going to apply the mouth. So that's just, we're just gluing on the mouth. Now we're also going to add a bit of white and a bit of black and make the grey part for around the eye. So almost like the binocular type of eye. So we'll take a cutter, mark where we want this to be, and then roll out some paste round about an inch thick, and then cut out a circle, and then cut a smaller circle at the center, and that'll give you a round shape for the eye. Then what we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to take a little bit more white, and we're going to roll this out, and then take a little bit of yellow and roll that out, and then we're going to cut 2 circles, so the white of the eye and the yellow as the eyelid, and then glue these into the grey circle that we've just added to the cake, and smooth them down just so they cover the full circle, and also that there's no gaps between the white and the yellow. Take your veining tool just to make sure that they're pushed in around the edge within the grey circle. So once that's done, then we're just going to take some black, and we're just going to roll this out 40 centimeters long and again 4 centimeters wide, and we're going to cut a strip to go around the top of the head that holds on that eye, and then just going to glue a line around there. Use a smoother just to make sure that everything's neat, and then apply a little grey piece next to the eye, and that'll just cover up the black join, and then a small piece of grey next to the other one. So this is a small sausage shape. And then we're going to apply 4 dots around the eye. So then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to just glue on the mouth. So just cut out a small black circle and glue that on. Now we're going to make the feet. So we're just going to take some black, so roughly 40 grams each, into a ball, flatten it down, and then glue these on. So these will be the feet. Now we're going to take a little bit of brown, and we're going to apply this for the eye. So very light brown, because we're going to paint on top of this, and then just trim the top off. Now apply a little bit of alcohol and dark brown and also chestnut, and we're just going to paint in the iris detail of the eye. So once that's done, then guys, what we're going to do is just darken around the eye. Now we're just going to glue on the pupil, so we take some black and glue on the pupil, and that's the eye finished. Now what we're going to do is make the hair, so we're going to keep rolling these out and cutting them into 8 strips. So we want 8 strips of fondant in black, and these will be the hair on the top of the head. This particular character is Barry, so there's 4 either side, and then just glue these on. If you want to give them a bit of a curve, you can just put a little bit of glue on that curve and then push the black strip of the hair onto it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the hands. So two 20-gram balls of black, cut them into 3 and form the hands, and then roll 2 long black strips around the bottom of the gloves. So we're going to take some yellow now and just roll this into a strip, cut it into 2. It depends how long you want your arms, but normally around about 7 to 8 centimeters is perfect. And then we're going to glue those on, glue the hands next to them, and then with the black strips we're going to just glue those around the join of the hand and the arm, just so you can't see any join and it looks part of it then. Again, it gives that detail, just makes it look a little bit more detailed. So now we're just going to take some yellow and we're just going to put the bottom of the eyelid in. So just a very small strip, literally maybe only 3-4 millimeter thick. Now we're just going to apply a tongue. So again, take a pea-sized piece and glue that on. So we're just going to make a party hat. So we're going to make a triangular cone and just place it on the head to make sure it's fine. And then roll out some white and use piping nozzle to cut out 8 dots and then glue these onto the red cone.